Alright, we are back on sports, and I want to say this right now. This week is a huge sports week for us Philly fans, and I will put it like this, okay? These type of weeks, for those who don't know, these type of weeks usually either work in our fashion, it's either in dominant fashion for Philly sports, or it absolutely railroads us. And, I'll admit, it's kind of funny when we lose at times because in these type of, situations, because fans freak out. And it's funny to watch fans freak out at times. It is. I'm just saying. Of course, we want to win, though. But we will start today with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I will put it like this, all right? I am very disappointed in what I saw yesterday. You've got to be kidding me if you think being up by that much and letting the Rams come back in that fashion is okay. That's absolutely ridiculous. First off, let's start with the offense, all right? What did I say last week? If the offense is having problems because, they start with a slow start, and we've been seeing this and people have been complaining, what did I say the solution would be? I said that go into the no-huddle offense on your first drive, no huddle, run up the field. That's all you got to do. No huddle and call your plays and be effective. And what did the Eagles do? No huddle on the first drive, no huddle, and went all the way up the field to the red zone and couldn't score. So, then again, we have more problems with not scoring in the red zone. And I'm telling you, more and more I see this, it turns into an Andy Reid offense. It does. Because Chip Kelly and Andy Reid, they love to throw the ball. I understand this league is a pass-heavy league, but you have to run the ball when you have the chance. Because when you run the ball, it keeps the defense honest. It opens up the play action. It opens up the pass. When you have Nick Foles throwing the ball downfield so far, and of course, it's not hitting anybody, he's missed a number of targets all yesterday. I don't know what he was thinking on that so-called quarterback slide, okay? Don't understand that one. Because he's not sliding, he's going head first. You're not sacrificing yourself when you go head first. You sacrifice yourself when you slide. And it's when you're initiating it too. It's not when you hit the ground. So you have to understand when Nick Foles going head first and then fumbling because nobody touched him, that is a fumble. Okay? Now, I will say in this offense, we need to talk about this offense. A lot of people, especially the media, I've seen cartoonists, I've seen everybody take shots at McCoy. You have to understand, this is not all McCoy's fault. I'm going to show you today, especially because I told you, it is lazy run play calling. Last week I said, stop running him to the right, around the edge, because it was predictable. Did I not? Okay. And I said he needs to run between the tackles and run vertical. Don't go sideways, go straight. Go vertical, don't go horizontal. We saw what happened with Darren Sproles when it happened. When McCoy yesterday was running between the tackles and going vertical up the field, he was averaging 7 to 8 yards a carry. That's right, because the offensive line opened up those holes. You have to give him a chance. But with Chip Kelly, he keeps trying to run him to the side. You have to understand, when you are throwing the ball so much, and when you decide to start running again, it becomes predictable. Everybody who is saying that McCoy, all of a sudden, he can't get off the block, it's all his fault, tell me how this is his fault. Because I want you to see that he's not getting, out of the run, not even getting to the line of scrimmage. I want to show you 2 to 3 defenders every time are getting to him before he's even gets the ball from Foles.
On the 15 on first down, it's McCoy. Second and 10. McCoy goes nowhere. Clock comes at 11. As McCoy tries to bounce it to the outside, now the Eagles face a third and long. It's third down at 8.
And a little bit of frustration right there. You can see the Sean McCoy with his hands up, just really nowhere to go up front.
But clearly, this is all McCoy's fault, right? Tell me, where is he supposed to go on those plays? It's bad, it's lazy play calling by your offensive coordinator and head coach, because he's letting this slide. You have to be kidding me if you think that's okay. Of course he's going to be frustrated, because he knows that he's better than that. But when he doesn't get the opportunity to show that he can do whatever, like I said, when you say, it's almost like a recipe for disaster. When you make a bad play call and then expect your running back to bail you out, and then when he can't even get out, he pretty much gets tackled as soon as he gets the damn ball, what does that tell you? You can't blame the offensive line because of the pressure. No, because schemes are different. So you can't do that. It's not always the offensive line that just collapses, okay? But we've seen this consistently for a number of weeks now, and you still want to blame McCoy. You still want to blame the line. No, you got to look at your coach, and you got to look at the play calling, you have to look at the setup, and that's not what we're seeing. I guess some people can even say, you can look at Foles for not reading the defense and saying he should call an audible on that play. There's a number of people that you can sit and blame, okay? But McCoy is not one of them. It's one thing if he gets the ball and he decides, oh, I'm just going to half-ass it, but he's not doing that. You can see that. There's nothing he can do in those situations. But it seems like Eagles fans are still going to make jokes about McCoy. The media is still going to make jokes about McCoy. What is wrong with you? You should know how this goes by now. If you're a true Eagles fan, you actually watched play for play what's going on. But it seems like that's not what we're seeing. Everyone just wants to lay blame. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's one thing if McCoy decided he got the ball and wanted to run 20 yards backwards or something and then try to make a play instead of, just going down and taking, just getting sacked. Not sacked, but, getting tackled. But don't sit here and tell me, because then you have an argument. But right now you don't. The fact is, this is a problem with coaching. This is a problem with setup. Number of balance in plays. But nobody wants to see that, though. Defense. If anything, I think I should start giving out game balls at this point. I think next week I'm going to start that. Game ball goes to special teams, and, they're going to share that game ball with defensive front. Those guys put on a hell of a show yesterday. This is 2 weeks in a row now. Defense have swallowed up quarterbacks, have created pressure. Special teams have been there to get, to block punts and get touchdowns. They have done everything that they've been asked. Special teams, defensive front has not been the problem in 2 weeks. Offense has been the problem. Secondary has been the problem. Kerry Williams. Let's talk about this right now. Kerry Williams, you are playing in coverage and you are not turning around to see where the ball is. You got torched a number of times yesterday doing that. When you got torched by Redskins 11, you said, oh, it's because of practice and I'm tired and I'm already dead before I even get on the field. What's your excuse this week? I want to know. Because it seems like you just keep coming up with excuses time after time. The fact is, you're not a good coverage corner. You're a physical corner, and here's the thing. I can't even say that, because if anyone watched the game yesterday, him trying to tackle, he's tackling high and holding guys up because he's hoping that, teammates come along and try to strip the ball, which is the wrong thing to do already. You tackle the guy right then and there. Why? You can get a turnover. We're trying to stop them from getting yardage. Yesterday, he got drugged. That's what he did. He got drugged by a guy for an extra 5 yards because he wouldn't tackle him. He was trying to hold him up. That's ridiculous. Secondary has been a huge problem since last season. It is absolutely ridiculous. Malcolm Jenkins looks really good out there, okay? Brandon Boykin, bring some Brandon Boykin. Start Boykin, please. As when you said, put Kerry in the nickel, I'm okay with that. But you have to be kidding me if you think that Kerry Williams can cover anyone at this point. Especially with all the complaining he's doing. I think that's what hurts the most when it comes to Eagles fans. That's what's worst. Because you're making excuses for your bad coverage. It's one thing if you just get blown up or you get burned and say, all right, you know what, that's my fault. I'm going to come back and try harder. That's one thing, all right? But then when you get burned and then you go run to the media and start crying about it, yeah, that doesn't look good at all. As far as I'm concerned, if this doesn't get better, like I said, start Boykin, and you know what's going to happen to Kerry Williams? He's going to end up being another Asamoah. He's going to end up being another DRC. He's going to be gone next year if this keeps up. You cannot keep that type of so-what coverage. I don't even want to call it coverage at this point. It's a hand-holding. You got lucky on one play, Kerry Williams. One play. And I put it like this. If you initiated more contact on that play, because once again, you didn't turn your head, they would have called pass interference on you. So you got lucky. And that's not what we need right now on this team. We need consistency. We're not seeing it on the defensive end when it comes to the secondary. Defensive line has done a great job. Not going to take anything away from them. I can't. They've been playing spectacular for the previous 2 weeks. They have. To try and contain Kaepernick last week, and then you swallow up this guy, Austin Davies, who had a 75% completion percentage coming into the game. Seriously, you can't ask for more from your defensive line. However, things need to be changed. Big time. There's no way in hell you can let the Rams come back the way, because that's what you did last night. You didn't just beat them. No. You just survived. You barely got out of there. That's what you did. And I understand players, because even players like Jenkins are saying we have to play better. For those who don't know, okay, I will put the link in the info bar. For those who, I tell you, you just can't watch CSN. You just can't watch ESPN. You know what I mean? Or hear these local radio stations. People, I will put the link in the info bar. There is a guy who actually went to the interviewed all of these people. I believe it's Bob Grotz or something like that. I will put his tout in the info bar where he goes to player in the locker room and gets their thoughts on these, on all these situations that's happening right after the game. Which means you get to see 7, 8 different videos. Of course, they're touted, so they're only like 30 seconds long. But Malcolm Jenkins said himself, we cannot play the way we did yesterday, next week, against the Giants or any other better secondary, because we're going to end up getting picked off. We're going to end up getting destroyed. He says it himself. So don't think that I'm just making this up. I will put the links in the info bar so that you can see those videos yourself from the actual player saying this. Now, I know a lot of people are happy that Lane Johnson is back. I told you before, I don't give a damn if Lane Johnson is back. He cheated the game. I will never support Lane Johnson. I will support the Eagles. I will never support Lane Johnson because he had to cheat. He had to get so desperate that he needed to cheat to stay in the NFL. That's what it is. Let's call it what it is. As far as I'm concerned, like I said, if we made it to the Super Bowl and he got the recovery and made the winning touchdown for the Eagles, I still wouldn't support Lane Johnson. As far as I'm concerned, he's dead to me. I don't care if he's on that field or not. We can do with or without him. We've been winning games without him, right? Okay, then. So all these people that are happy that Lane Johnson's back, you need to check yourself. What is bigger than this? The integrity of your football team, which the Eagles were known for before the Reid era. Before that whole, I'm going to let everyone act the fool era in the previous, 3 to 4 years? The integrity of our football team, which was smash mouth, which was in your face, which said, look, if you come into this city, you better be afraid. That's what our football team brought to the game, okay? It wasn't a bunch of cheaters and a bunch of divas. I understand times have changed and generation has moved on, but that's not what Eagles football is about. That's not what it was founded on. So as far as I'm concerned, Lane Johnson can go to hell. And then any other athlete, and like I said, doesn't matter if it's on my team or not, any other athlete that's cheated the game can go to hell. Because you know how hard those people work to get to where they're at today? To be part of the elite? And then you want to take a shortcut? You better get out of my face with that, man. That is absolutely ridiculous. But speaking of cheating, the Patriots apparently got back on track after getting destroyed last week. They're back on track. We saw what happened with them against Cincinnati. Did we not? Okay. Also, I want to say this now, because it was quite the blowout. I want to talk about blowouts. Because on Thursday, again, we saw more blowouts. We've been seeing more blowouts in these previous couple of weeks than probably any NFL game. I would like to see the statistics on that. I'm going to have to look into that. All right? But now, I said before on Twitter, I said even though we've been talking about these blowouts on Twitter and on YouTube and everything else, I said the media still hasn't talked about the blowouts, so they're going to be late to the game. And what happened earlier this week? They decided now to talk about the blowouts. Welcome to the Punch Media with your little graphs and everything. I want to talk about the issue all of a sudden. I guess you didn't get the VIP treatment. You just late to the party, huh? The fact is, now that we're seeing all these blowouts, all right, now that the media has latched onto it, of course now they're going to be on watch with this. We're going to see this time and time now. This is ridiculous that we are going to see blowout after blowout after blowout. And you know what? On Thursday it starts again. All right, because possibly we have Colts versus Texans. We may see a blowout with that. You know what? Let's not even go that far for Thursday night. Tonight we may see Seattle blow out the Redskins. So I mean, it's like, are these games worth watching? That's what you have to start asking yourself. Is there anything else on? And I'll put it like this. Other games throughout the week were pretty good. They were high-scoring games. I don't understand if this is lack of defense or dynamic offense. We saw what happened with the Saints yesterday. All right? The Bears were killing the Panthers until the Panthers forced this monumental comeback. I just don't understand what is going on. Cleveland came back from 24 points down yesterday against Tennessee to win their game. Okay? Now, I know Cleveland fans are also happy about that, but you should be asking yourselves, why the hell are you down 24 points to begin with anyway? That's ridiculous. You saw us Eagles fans acting when we were down 17 at the half against the Jaguars. People was getting ready to go off. People was getting ready to go down to that stadium and riot because they were so pissed off. You saw them get booed. The coach said, yeah, they had every right to boo. And the fact that they came back to win, like I said, you need to start questioning what's going on with these defense. I don't know if people are just not prepared. They're not taking it seriously. Well, you gotta wait till the second half for adjustments every time? Are you serious? That's not how football is played. You have to play 4 quarters to win your game. You can't just say, we're going to take off the first half, and then all of a sudden, we're just going to play the second half, and all of a sudden make these dramatic comebacks. I'm sure it made for great TV. I'm sure it had the fandom at a heart attack rate, and then all of a sudden everyone's high-fiving, everything's all good and gravy. But you have to understand, you shouldn't be in that situation to begin with. And speaking of situations, Alex Henry. I'm talking about, I'm so happy that the Eagles got rid of him. I don't understand how this guy is still in the NFL. But anyone who saw what happened yesterday with the Detroit Lions, you got to be kidding me that you have a kicker who missed not one, not two, but 3 field goals. 3. You've got him blowing away, too. It's not like this was a chance for Alex Henry to actually get close and say, oh, it got so close to some of those field goals. No, there were field goals where the kicker was nowhere near it. The Detroit Lions should have won their game yesterday. The kicker blew it. And Alex Henry said himself that, all the blame is on him. Now, this is where I get pissed off, okay? Because Alex Henry, you should know better to try and pull that Andy Reid garbage. You learned really well from him. Oh, we got to do better. Time is yours. Look, Alex Henry, you can keep sitting around and talk about how you got to do better, and it's all on you. But what you do on the field and what you say are 2 different things. You said this time and time again when you were here in Philadelphia. Now you're in Detroit, and you're saying the same thing without any consequences. Detroit Lions fans should be ready to get rid of this guy. As far as I'm concerned, I would call up an aging Mort Anderson and bring him back on the field to play before I put in Alex Henry. You gotta be kidding me. Mike Vanderjagt ain't doing anything after his fallout with the Colts. Why don't you go call him? I'll put up with his attitude and his kick. I'm sorry, you have enough players on that team to put him in his place. Seriously, I'd take him over Alex Henry any day. This is ridiculous. Scott Norwood would be better. Don't get started on that. Look, Alex Henry shouldn't even be in this league as far as I'm concerned. And he doesn't take it seriously. At all. If he did, this would not be happening. If he did, Detroit Lions fans, I'll put it like this. Go out there to those practices or have some media, talk to your media, have them go to those practices and see just how much work Alex Henry puts in his kicks. That's what I would say. I'm not trying to hear, he's got to get a warm-up and that's it, and he just has a standard number of kicks. When you are playing that bad, you put in more work. You put in more practice to get better. You are in the NFL. Act like a professional. The Detroit Lions had no right to lose, no reason to lose that game. They put themselves in position to win. They did. Alex Henry took it away from them, as far as I'm concerned. He should be fired. He should be. He should be let go. He should have been let go right after the game, as far as I'm concerned. There's a reason the Eagles got rid of him. Detroit fans, you should be mad at your front office for even picking him up, as far as I'm concerned. I want to move on, all right? There were so many games this week that we saw a lot of attitude to, and referees as well. I don't understand this with the referees, okay? We're seeing more phantom calls. Time and time again, come out. And for those who did not see what happened in the Chargers game yesterday, phantom call, they have to talk about it first, and then say, there's no call, there's no call. If you don't believe me, here's the clip for it.
Geno Smith with time. Incomplete. Penalty marker is thrown. Marcus Gilchrist covering Jeff Cumberland, the tight end. Cumberland, the intended receiver. There is no foul on the play. As long as the play is an incomplete pass, it's 4th down. So they had a conversation and decided it wasn't worth the flag. See, Gilchrist covers it. He doesn't turn around, but he doesn't make contact.
What the hell are the refs doing out there? They don't know, the guy, and you see when the guy threw that flag, he was pissed. He was just like, I'm going to throw the hell out of this flag. He just didn't know what the hell he was doing. Emotion took over him. All right? Then they had to have a conference and say, you know what? No, there's no call. And of course, in that game, Chargers-Jets, that was a blowout as well. They even took it off CBS yesterday because it wasn't competitive enough. So they showed us, was it KC and the 49ers? This is becoming something that it's getting out of hand. The refs, clearly, there are some refs out there that are one-year refs, if you know your refs, all right? The guy who's making the call and saying that there's no, there was no call, he's a new ref. 1 year. He's a rook. All right? So it goes to show you that these people still have a lot of work to do. You cannot keep calling, 5 yards off the ball, slight taps, pass interference. You can't say illegal hands to the face every time on a play. You've got to be, this not only slows down the game, it makes the games longer, it kills teams when they get into momentum. That's what people want to see, momentum. You can't keep doing this. Refs, sometimes you have to stop, you have to swallow your whistle or don't be so quick to throw the flag At this point, as many bad fan calls as we've seen from refs over games in these previous weeks, they need to have a ref for the refs. Seriously, at one point I would love to see a ref throw a flag and out of nowhere another ref come and throw a flag on that guy. This is something that needs to be looked at in the NFL, in the front office. I understand they have guys who do look at these type of things, but there's no consequence to this type of stuff. Because, of course, they don't want their officials to look bad. If the officials are always shown to look bad, and wrong, it's going to kill the integrity of their sport. I understand that. But there's something you have to do about this. Roger Goodell, once again, should come, no. Don't even bring out Roger Goodell. It's not worth it. Because all he's going to do is dance around it, skate around it, whatever you want to call it. That's all he's going to do. It's absolutely ridiculous. The NFL has become a really touchy league this year. Fans are already mad about the kickoffs. Now they were talking, at one point they were talking about, was it in the offseason this year, how to get rid of all the kickoffs and just start at 20. And fans, got mad at that. And now you have these new refs who are coming in and pretty much killing the game. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that you have to have a meeting and then say, oh, no, there's no call. It tells fans, okay, that guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing then. What he sees and what everyone else sees is different. Also, you have to understand where eyes are on the field. Sometimes there's referees who are in front of a play who don't call anything, and guys who are all the way on the other side of the field who are from a distance calling it. That's absolutely ridiculous. I told you before last week, we talked about this, how referees, they have eyes. They have a referee, pretty much an official out there pretty much for everything that's going on out there, to watch everybody. There is no reason why a guy further down the field should be calling a play when there's a referee right in front of those guys and not calling it. Yes, refs miss calls. Yes, refs make bad calls every once in a while. Every once in a while, that's how it should be done. Because you have to give them leeway. But when you are making mistake after mistake after mistake, it becomes a problem. Speaking of mistakes, I'm going to move on from football to hockey. We have to talk Flyers real quick. I told you that this is a big sports week for Philadelphia, and understand that the Flyers start their season on Wednesday against the Boston Bruins. That's right. Now, this is a big rivalry game. All right? The Flyers have looked very good in preseason. However, Wayne Simmons is already hurt. He has a boot on his foot. We don't know if he's going to play on Wednesday. I'm banking that he is going to. We'll see what happens. But I'm really hoping that he does, because we're going to need him out there, especially against the Bruins, who had a really good team last year. We will see. I haven't seen anything on the Bruins in their preseason this year, so I have no idea what to expect. Okay? Haven't seen anything on the Bruins. However, the Flyers, they look really good. They're very promising. I am shocked, very shocked, that the Flyers sent down, Morin or whatever, Morin, that 19-year-old kid, that big, strong the D guy. Seriously, he should have stayed up, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. I mean, he had a mean streak about him. I understand people want to say, oh, well, his fundamentals weren't really there. But understand also as well, you don't always need fundamentals for this type of thing. What's going on is, if he plays his position right, and you sit here and you say, we need you to puck handle. Because that's fundamentals, puck handling. Okay. You don't want to have turnovers. Okay. But guess what? If you're going to talk about fundamentals on a young guy, a 19-year-old big man who's pretty much, 7 feet in skates, then why have you gotten on Coburn? He's been on this team long enough, yet he still makes the same mistakes. He still has the same turnover ratio. Actually, it gets worse every year if you look at the stats. But yet, that's okay. So a guy who's young, feisty, and looks like he really wants to get into it and can play, you pull him, you take him down. But Coburn, all right, who is lackadaisical, who is a big guy, a physical presence, but doesn't know how to use his body when it comes to hits. He's soft, makes turnovers. You keep him on for years and years. I don't understand that. You want to talk fundamentals, then I'm going to keep pointing you to Braden Coburn every time. Just saying. However, we are seeing problems with their defense. And it's not just with the D-men. We know that's going to be a problem. Our forwards aren't a problem. They can score. Our defense is going to be the problem this year. And yet last year it carries back over. For those who know what I'm talking about, Steve Mason. As much as I like Steve Mason, understand he is still making the same mistakes this year already that he has from last year.
In the zone, moving it around, and Alex Ovechkin had 3 great chances. Look out. Mason just gets back in time there.
That play you just saw was from our recent preseason game. So we cannot have that going on against the Bruins, because they'll take advantage of it. The Capitals didn't take advantage of that. The Bruins will. You have to be kidding me if you think that those type of things are going to happen. For those who don't understand what's going on with the back of the net, all right? They decided the lines of net where the goalie can go back there and get the puck, they have pushed it out 2 more inches so that the goalie will have a more fighting chance. Besides, it also gets the players involved a little bit more behind the net. They do this because they want more scoring, okay? They want more turnovers. They want more scoring. Believe it or not, it does work, but I put it like this. I think it was a bad idea to implement this rule at least this season because of what's going on. I understand that hockey is trying to become more popular. They're trying to put more goals up and more, put more pucks in the net because they want people to come more to the games. They want it to be more offensive heavy. You have to understand that. Goalies now have to pretty much stay in their crease. If they don't, there is a good, and I'm not going to say, because before, when, back in the day, if you go back and you look at NHL 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s, you will see that the goalies, when they go in the back of the net to get that puck, behind the net, you didn't see much of that. You didn't see much danger behind it because they had it in control. These days, every time you see a goalie go behind the net, it is a 50-50 chance that something bad is going to happen for your team. All right? Now, I will put it like this. This was before this new rule has been implemented. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is going to lower the chances for goalies. Yes, it gives them more leeway, but you have to understand, when goalies are behind the net, and for those who don't know, when they get a puck, and a defender or an opponent, they can come after the goalie because now it's no longer just a goalie. He is a puck handler now. So meaning, you can try and knock his ass down. You can take the puck from him. You can, like I said, when you extend those lines, it's going to make more people rush down, bear down on your goalie. At this point, goalies, you have to be very careful of what happens. As far as I'm concerned, this, like I said, this is something that's happened with Mason since last season. So, Mason, keep your ass in net. That's all you have to do. I understand, people. I get it. You want goalies to go behind because they want to help the team as fast as possible so they can get the puck back up the other side. I get it. But no, as far as I'm concerned, I would rather the goalies stay in their net and bear down because those guys, as we know, anyone who's seen any type of speed skating going on in the All-Star games and things of that nature, when you see these players, they can fly. There is no way I'm going to keep my stationary goalie who is sitting there on one side, who really can't go sideways, laterally, all right, against a guy who is skating so fast, 70, 80 miles an hour. It depends on how fast they're going in the momentum. But they can get down there pretty quick compared to a goalie who can get behind the net and get that puck. I would just want Steve Mason, you have to stay in net. Stay in net, all right? I don't want to see this on Wednesday. I don't. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I feel as though we have a good chance to play the Bruins. When we play them, to beat the Bruins, I should say. I have a good chance that the Flyers can do something this year. They had a better preseason already than they had last season, all right? This game is going to be pivotal because people are wanting us to fail. If anyone has not seen what's going on, they want the Flyers to fail so bad. Like I said, this is a must-win game for to start off the season right as far as I'm concerned. This is something, come out, out the gates and just all engines go. And speaking of all engines go, we'll talk about the Sixers. That's right. We're going to have a double pretty much a double rivalry going on here because tonight, that's right, at 7:30 Eastern, the Sixers preseason game starts against the Boston Celtics. That's right. So that's going to be interesting to see. I will be watching that. This is going to be definitely something. I understand no one really likes the NBA preseason, let alone the regular season, because as the NBA state themselves, everything happens in the playoffs, which kind of disrespects your regular season. It's almost like the MLB when they decided to ban players during the season so they can come back within preseason and postseason. You know what I mean? They disrespected the regular season doing that. But the same thing with the NBA. The preseason, a lot of people don't like to watch the preseason games, but understand, the Summer League this year, and I talked about the Summer League plenty of times, Summer League this year was better than the NBA regular season. So if the Summer League has this type of spark and just show some raw basketball, I can only imagine what the preseason is going to be like for the Sixers. They had a great Summer League season, an amazing Summer League season. I would have taken that Summer League team over last year's Sixers team. I'm just saying. But we shall see what happens. Like I said, it'll be a big sports week for us Philly fans. It can go either way. And I know I didn't speak about it yet. That's why I saved it for last. Eagles-Giants. We have you on Sunday, 8:30, night game. You damn right. You coming into our house. Giants, I am looking forward to smashing you in the face. I'm seriously. Giants fans, this is something that we should get hyped for. Listen, if you can't beat the Dallas Cowboys, which you know we should, then you beat the Giants. This is one of those things where the rivalry gets, it gets to a point where it's so fun to where, when these Giants players, I'm telling you now, when those Giants players show up at Broad Street, all right, was it Locust? Broad and Locust. When they show up and go to that hotel, you damn right, Eagles players, or I should say Eagles fans, you might as well call the fans the players, because I swear to God, if you could, they'd jump out on the field and start hurting people and start playing. Eagles fans are going to be there when the tour bus comes through. And they're going to boo. I don't know if they're going to throw anything. I doubt they'll throw anything. But they're going to boo the hell out of them when they come off the bus. You also have to understand, last season when this happened, when they stayed at the hotel, all right, Eagles fans who were hotel employees were like, look, I'm not serving the Giants. I'm not serving the Cowboys. We're going to give them bad stuff. Like, this is what he had to deal with. Like, at the Doubletree at the time? So you have to understand, this rivalry is deeper than what people make it seem. But Eagles, do not discount the Giants. They are 3-2, and I understand that people won't say, yeah, they're a bad 3-2. Doesn't matter. Eli Manning has a tendency of pulling wins out of his ass from time to time, all right? And we know how he plays. He's not going to get that, I'm going to chuck up everything, because he doesn't have the receivers for that. But our secondary is still bad. I look for the Eagles to take this win because of the fact that that's a take. Now, it's a possibility. Like I said with, San Francisco, I was like, it's going to be a tough game, but we still have a chance to win. No, I'm looking for the Eagles to take this because the Giants aren't as good as advertised, but they also have their spurts. 1 week they're inconsistent. 1 week they'll play really good. The next week they'll just drag it. I haven't seen much consistency from the Giants. So as far as I'm concerned, all right, this is a game we should win. But do not discount the Giants at all, okay? It's a very serious team. So as far as I'm concerned, and it's a rival. So it's rivalry week. This is supposed to be fun, okay? Don't let it get to your head too much, because I've seen people on Twitter already talk about, wishing bodily harm on players and each other. No, we're not going to go that far, all right? If I say something like that, it's all in jokes, you know what I mean? But some of these people are dead serious on Twitter. Dead serious. And I don't know why. It's football. All right? Like I said, it's rivalry week. It's supposed to be fun. I look forward to Eli constantly checking down and throwing for 5 yards. I look forward to it. I look forward to your running game trying to come through our defensive front. I don't think it's going to happen. You may have us on our secondary, but that's probably about it. Your special teams are not even as good as ours. So as far as I'm concerned, and I'm looking forward to Weatherford punting. I'm looking forward to it. I hope we block the hell out of Weatherford. All right? Because I can't stand them anyway. Anyways, Giants fans, get back at me. Boston fans, get back at me. This should be fun this week, people. All right, this is what sports is all about. Don't let it get too serious, though. All right, I'll talk to y'all then. Y'all be safe. I'm out.